The spirit of cricket is a really precious thing.
The spirit of cricket.
Does the spirit of cricket exist?
It's about the spirit of the game.
The spirit of cricket is a bit of a cliche, but actually it's important to what makes the game.
What is it? This game we call cricket. Some say it's just that, a game. A way to pass the time. Made up of overs and innings, wickets and runs that can last 5 days or a mere afternoon. But it's more than that, isn't it? It's more than the stumps and the wickets, the bat and the ball, more than winning and losing. What makes cricket cricket is us, the people. The people that play, volunteer, organise, spectate and facilitate. From the leaders on the field to those behind the scenes. Cricket is what we make it, through the values we share. It's a game run on respect, built on fairness and decency, where we embrace enjoyment, build belonging and progress with purpose, so that to anyone watching, they see a game for me. These are the values that make this game great, and they've always been there. But it's up to us now to carry them forward, with every ball, every stroke, every session of play, so that together we can help shape this beautiful game, this game that we love, this game we call cricket.
Calling England cricketers.
My name is Hassan.
My name is Ravi.
My name is Taylor. And this is my way to play. You might be used to big crowds, big stadiums, big pitches.
My way to play is different.
I don't play on the pitch, I play on the street.
Playing beach cricket.
Hi, Robbie. Let's see who comes out on top, eh?
Yeah, hopefully me.
Showing all your friends how it's done.
Hassan, can I play?
Yeah, sure, you want a bat?
Yes, please.
Ready, Rav?
Ready?
Rules? Let's just say make them up as we go.
You see the ball swing, I hear it jingle.
Over the wall, you're out.
Get my ball back!
No boundaries, just a shoreline.
So, do you fancy changing those whites for chackies?
Fancy swapping your spikes for bare feet?
Fancy putting your senses to the test? Come and play my way.
What? That was awesome.
Well played, you're too good today.
Great hitting.
What a great shot.
Yes, Robbie!
Very good morning to you and welcome to the Vitality Blast Women's League 2 Finals Day here at the County Ground in Northampton. We are very excited to get the first semi-final underway when Middlesex take on Leicestershire. The umpires have just spoken to the two captains and it is time for the coin toss.
Heads. We'll have a ball first. You have a ball? Get it back. Good luck. Go Will. You rush. Sorry.
So Middlesex won the toss. Saskia Hawley, the captain, a very warm welcome to you. Obviously it was a decision you wanted to make this morning.
Yeah, I want to have a bowl, just see what the wicket's doing. I guess it's been undercovers kind of most of the morning, so just have a look at what it's doing and then react there.
You've had a good run to today. It's going to be a very exciting day. You've only lost one of your last 8 matches. You obviously go into this full of confidence.
Oh, 100%. I think you've always got to back your ability. So I know every single girl here and coaching staff is backing us to get the result that we want and hopefully play the final later today.
I know you've spoken about the depth of talent in your squad and you use that word unity as well. You sound like a very tight-knit squad.
Oh, 100%. We're definitely all together, no matter who's playing, who's not playing, and just supporting each other in every single moment that we can. Obviously in the field that's a little bit easier, which is nice. But yeah, if we're out there at the bat, we're definitely supporting from the sideline as well.
Saskia, go well today. Thank you very much for chatting to us. Bring on the Leicestershire captain now, Becky Brooker. Becky, what would you have done?
We were happy to have a bat. I think it's a good track and it'll stay pretty true, so we'll try and put some pressure on the board.
You've not had such an easy route to the semi-final today. What have you said to the players ahead of today's semi-final?
I think the key is just trying to control what we can control. Obviously, we had a few rocky results in the group stages, but the way we came back and fought back and the way we stuck together as a group has been fantastic. And I think, although it's finals day, nothing changes. We've played this game for a while, so let's do what we do.
I know you said you're really excited. I know that word's been said quite a lot today about the players. It's a really exciting thing to be part of today, isn't it?
Yeah, obviously it's our first year in Tier 2 and the first finals days for a lot of us, so to have that kind of experience can only do us good for the future as well. So hopefully we'll give it our best shot and hopefully get to the final.
Well, best of luck, Becky. Thank you very much indeed. So here we are at the County Ground in Northampton. Play is due to start at 11 o'clock in the first semi-final when Middlesex take on Leicestershire.
Well, a very good morning and welcome to Northampton for the Vitality Blast Women's League 2 Finals Day. 4 teams, all with one dream of lifting the trophy, have had very varying paths of how they've got here. We start with Middlesex versus Leicestershire, and it's Yorkshire versus Glamorgan. And then at 6:45 p.m. tonight, local time, the final. I'm Michael McCann, and I'm delighted to say after that excellent introduction from Donna, alongside me for the day, it's Georgia Heath.
Yeah, we're locked in and loaded, aren't we, Michael? A big day of women's cricket today. It's obviously the first year of this new structure of the women's game, so this is the first of the finals day. It's a big weekend. We've got League 2 finals today, League 1 and League 3 tomorrow as well, so big few days for the women's game here. But we can think about tomorrow when that comes around, when finals are done tonight here at Northampton. But really exciting couple of days ahead, and this is the first one to kick us off today. Obviously for League 2 we've got 2 semi-finals and a final, whereas League 1, Surrey went straight into the final, and then the Blaze and the Bears will play it out in the semi-final. But here today it's Middlesex, Leicestershire. because it's divided into those two groups rather than the one group as League One is.
Middlesex winning the toss and choosing to bowl on a visibly green surface. There's been a few showers around this morning. The pitch itself, of course, was covered, but there is definitely a sense that might make it a little bit of a tricky, sticky wicket for the Leicestershire openers to bat on. But Rebecca Brooker, on strike for the first ball of this finals day, was adamant that it was a good pitch and she would have batted if given the choice. Gaia Gole has got the new ball in her hand and is ready to get us off and underway. A decent delivery, but is worked into the vacant space at third. 4 runs to start finals day for Brooker. Not often you see that. Seam bowler, new ball, nobody behind square on the offside, and the Leicestershire captain all too happy to take advantage.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad delivery really, but guided nicely off the outside edge. It'll just ease a few nerves, you would think, after being put into bat. This is just what you want to start things off.
Yeah, definitely deliberate Brooker, looking for the gap, but as you say, there was a bit of outside edginess about it too. Go there again, just pushed into the onside this time. Deep square leg and a deep mid wicket out. I mentioned varying paths to get here. 7 wins from 8 for Middlesex. Only the perfect Yorkshire with 8 from 8 have had a better record across the comp. Leicestershire found life much trickier. They were in a bit of a battle for second behind Yorkshire in the North Group. Came through with 4 wins from 8. Nicely bowled by Gole.
Yeah, she's found that little straighter line now.
60-metre boundaries all the way round. We're about as uniform as you can get, apart from one small pocket which is out at around backward point this over, which is 58. Go there full again, nice looking off drive, but straight to mid-off. Good comeback here from Gole after going for a boundary from that first ball. It's a field that is optimised for targeting the stumps. It's a 5-foot onside field. You don't see that too often, with the 2 sweepers out, a deep square leg and deep mid wicket. This is worked away. This will be more runs. Going to get at least 2, might well get 4, and even with the slow outfield from that rain, it does go for 4. So 2 boundaries from this first over already for Leicestershire, and 2 nerve-settling boundaries for their skipper.
Yeah, should be happy with this as a start. Gole finding a better line those second couple of deliveries, and now turning into a little bit of an expensive first over. Middlesex winning the toss, deciding to have a bowl. This time just straying down the leg side slightly, nicely worked off the pads.
Well bowled, well played. End of the first over. 8 without loss. Should mention your umpires as well. Your team across the day in various combinations will be Amy Coyne, Julia Jarvis and Jane Pratt. For the first game, Pratt is 4th umpire, with Jarvis and Coyne on field. A reminder that semi-final 2 starts at 2:30 p.m. and then the final at 6:45. So it should be a long and eventful day here in Northampton, which has hosted plenty of previous women's cricket finals days. And I know the Steelbacks themselves were really gutted to miss out. They narrowly got pipped to second in the North Group by Leicestershire, who squeaked through with the worst record of the 4 sides that did qualify. Have to feel a little bit for Sussex. Sussex actually got 1 more point and a better net run rate than Leicestershire. They did it in the South Group and ended up finishing 3rd. Start of the second over with a nice delivery that just gets a little bit of extra bounce on Sweet, who is a key player for Leicestershire. She's the top run scorer in the competition and she's hit more 6s than anybody else. That's 2 pretty good statistics to have to your name.
Yeah, wouldn't mind that at all, would you? Actually, wouldn't mind finding one of those early on just to ease her nerves as well.
Comes wide of the crease, but slips towards the pads of Sweet, and a player of that quality is just not going to miss out on a delivery like that. Sonali Patel strays and is punished. So dealing in boundaries here early doors, Leicestershire.
Yeah, it's interesting because actually we talked about that little bit of rain around earlier. Sometimes you do get, when you just get a little smattering of it, it wasn't very heavy, it actually just makes a little bit of grease on the outfield and actually runs faster.
And this is going to be more. This is going to be a fourth one. A curious start to this final. It's all dots or boundaries, and Sweet has matched Brooker now with her second.
Yeah, dream start this, both of them finding runs early on. Just a little discussion here between Patel and Captain Saskia Hawley. Obviously a very mature young captain, plays a lot of cricket all around the world. Actually spent her summer, well, I say summer, spent her winter, Australian summer, over down under.
Well, that's a better line, it's a better delivery. And the length of it troubled Sweet as well.
Just continuing the form, isn't it? It's either a dot or a boundary.
Yeah, Patel's getting some nice shape in here against Francesca Sweet. You can see he's got that bottom hand braced. Very powerful player through that onside Sweet. Good comeback here from Patel though. 2 dots to follow the 2 boundaries. Mention that record, 258 runs at an average of 37. And a strike rate that is the 10th best in the competition as well, of anyone that scored at least 100 runs, which seems a fair sample size. So she's having a great comp. Sweet was just trying to turn that away. Came off the bottom of the pad. End of another over that's brought a couple of boundaries to one of Leicestershire's opening batters. 16 without loss after 2.
Yeah, they'd be happy with this as a start. Well, Leicestershire put into bat. And they said, well, it's one of those things you speak to the captain. I'm quite often convinced that captains just say, oh yeah, we would have chosen to do this anyway. I know that I would do that. Play a couple of mind games in there, but put into bat by Middlesex. We thought, yeah, we probably would have had a bowl on this. A little bit of a green top. Maybe doesn't make too much of a difference in a T20, but it's something about finals, isn't there, and semi-finals and must-win games. It's having runs on the board and then forcing, you know, the pressure of scoreboard pressure of the chase.
Golay continuing, and right on the button at the start of her second. Are you suggesting there's some kidology involved in the coin toss?
100%. I mean, when you think about coin tosses, you look at India and India's men and women actually, and their inability to win a toss is hilarious. There's some ridiculous 1 in 16,000 or something, some stat.
So that's just pushed out through the covers. It's certainly a handy skill to have as a captain.
Yeah, I was doing a tournament recently, and suddenly, honestly, it was the semi-final or the final, and they had a different captain, and we went, oh God, is he injured? What's happened? Where's the captain gone? Why is he not out there doing the toss? Anyway, then we found out 20 minutes, it's just because he kept losing the toss, and he thought it was him, so he just decided someone else would do it.
Valid. Just a little shorter, and it's a slightly awkward prod from Brooker.
He did all the other captaining duties. He just didn't do the toss and wasn't listed as captain. It was so bizarre. We were thinking, what is going on? Why have they changed it now? After a whole tournament, you get to the semi-final and they've got a new captain.
Love that.
He'd also scored 80 in the previous game, so yeah, we were... I was bamboozled. Doesn't take much.
And again, she's gone for that guy. Brooker can't afford to bowl that wide Golay with this field, with a 5-4 onside field and nobody down there. Very smart cricket from Becky Brooker, who gets her 3rd boundary.
Yeah, as we said, dealing in boundaries, saving the legs, don't have to do any running. It's almost like a game of hit and run, isn't it?
Yeah, Golay just can't afford to be in that 5th stump kind of area with this field. Well, it's then overcompensated. So that's the first extra of the day. Becky Brooker, who took over as Leicestershire captain from Katie Gunn last year, led her side to silverware as well. Oh, that's short and wide, and Gole's gone too far in the other direction. Just got to resettle herself here. So a look of frustration, but as that replay confirms, definitely outside those blue lines.
Yeah, just got to Goldilocks it now. Too hot, too cold, just right. So this third one, we've had the overcompensation already. Just got to find that straighter line.
Much better delivery. Oh, well, it's a front foot no ball. Spoke too soon. So Gole's really got to recompose herself here, because this over that had 3 dots to start has now gone for 7 from 1 delivery, effectively, with a 3 hit to come. Steps across, and will get nothing for the 3 hit. Gole responding well to the challenge that she'd created.
How often do you see that? One of the bowler's best deliveries is when it's on the free hit. We all say, right, this is going to be launched, this is what's going to happen, free hit. No, you can't get out unless you run out. And then the bowler just comes up with something special, just thinking, right, I've got to make up for this here.
Gole's got to get out the over. Turned away will be just the 1. So it's the most expensive over of the innings so far. 24 without loss after 3.
And we've had the lesser spotted single to finish the over.
Yeah. I was wondering why you threw your hands up there, but yeah, it's a single.
Never been so excited by a single.
It's a single. And as that picture shows, it's decent conditions for the swinging ball. There is set to be apparently a few showers around between 11 and 2. I understand from the umpires that were we to get some significant rain delays, there could be a bit of flexibility with the starting time of semi-final 2, which might be very useful. Now spin is into the attack. Spin has been Middlesex's great strength in this competition, and one of them has been Izzy Routledge, who at the start of this competition perceived herself as somewhat of a part-time spinner, but in both club cricket and county cricket has been repeatedly told by plenty of teammates that she is very much a genuine all-rounder, and she's starting to grow into that role, and she's right on the button. That's a perfect line to start with. This is someone who has only taken 2 wickets in the entire competition, but she's been very economical. So it's just nibbled away, but it's another dot.
Yeah, she's also someone that is going to be integral when it comes to Middlesex chasing whatever Leicestershire put up here.
She said, I've worked out this year that I can get in the team for my bowling alone. She's also a very decent opening bat, as that's swept away. That's a nice shot from Brooker. We'll only get 1 though. That's great fielding down there by Riva Pindoria, which anyone who saw the game against Gloucestershire last Sunday won't be surprised. She got a clutch run out from the final ball of the game to run out Melissa Story and give Middlesex a win by 1 run with an outstanding piece of fielding. Ran her out coming back for the second. When the ball first came off the bat, you would have been forgiven for thinking it was going for 4. Nice looking drive, but straight at point. Good start this from Routledge, who is matching the description one of her club teammates gave her. Our most consistent bowler, a human metronome, unrelentingly accurate. You've got to hit her off her length. Sweet gets her hands through that, but that's another dot, 1 off 5. This is great pressure.
Yeah, this is just what they needed to try and build after that particularly expensive over as well. The extras flooding in and finding the boundaries in the first 2 overs as well. Now just starting to hold an end.
A little too short and pulled away, but straight at deep mid-wicket. So it will be just 2 off the over. Great over from Routledge. 4 gone, 26 without loss.
Yeah, mature cricket as well, that from Routledge. She just moved her field around, and yes, we say she went shorter, but she just put that fielder out in the deep mid-wicket and was hit straight to her on the bounce in the end. So it might have looked like it was going to be launched into oblivion, but actually, good placement, good cricket, a wise head, clever head. Somebody went to Cambridge, one of those. One of those, just leave some for the rest of us.
Yeah, trainee lawyer. and did history at Cambridge. He's now the kind of person who, particularly with this new structure and the ability and growth that's been seen in their game in the last 3-4 years, you could easily see being a full-time professional cricketer in the not too distant future, one way or another. Another change of bowling. Katie Wolf is on. So again, I think this is dictated by conditions, because often Middlesex tend to like to get spin in relatively early, but keeping the seamers on for most of this power play as Wolf is cut away for 4. Lovely shot by Sweet.
Yeah, she's done really well to find that gap there, actually. Only a small gap in front of point, between point and cover. Maybe 8 or so yards between the two. Finds it nicely, uses the width. Outside edge perhaps, but that balance.
Yeah, it was a bit of a loosener. And this one is also put away by Sweet, who's starting to find her rhythm here. One of the very best players in this competition, and you just can't feed her short and wide deliveries like that.
Yeah, this one just behind point in the end, so almost identical positioning for the two boundaries. If you look at a wagon wheel, there wouldn't be much difference between the two.
Now Wolf's got to refine the kind of deliveries that she's shown more often throughout this competition. Oh, that's a much better ball, and that's troubling Sweet.
Yeah, she even gets an appreciation there from Captain Saskia Hawley, who's come in to give her a high five, have a quick chat. She's a very active captain, is Hawley. Got a mature head, knows her cricket well, moves her field around a lot.
Oh, and that's hit hard, straight at mid-off. You can see in a shot like that, Sweet really wants to get that powerful bottom hand through the ball. See it in the way she plays through long on and mid-wicket. See it in the cut shot. Top hand is a bit of a stabiliser, but it's that bottom hand that really brings the power. Sure, it's not the best delivery, and Sweet is throwing her head up to the heavens, frustrated that she didn't punish it.
Yeah, she sort of lost her shape a bit as well, didn't she? Bend her legs, sort of squatted down, got a bit awkward on it in the end. You know, when your eyes light up and you've almost hit the boundary before the ball's actually got to you.
Last ball, the over 3 dots. Sweet will naturally want to be aggressive here. She does look to be aggressive, and she looks to be aggressive in fantastic fashion. A third boundary of the over for Francesca Sweet, who takes 12 off it, and that gives the Foxes a bit of momentum back after that tight over from Routledge, the one before. 38 without loss after 5.
Yeah, it's proving a profitable area, isn't it, for Sweet? Just loves to just rock off the back foot and cut it just in front of point, in that sort of point region. And still dealing in boundaries. 12 then off that over. 5 gone, 38 without loss. This is a very healthy start for Leicestershire.
Yeah, nobody's doing too much running between the wickets this morning.
Save your legs.
Love to see it. Efficiency of movement, I believe, is something that athletes tend to talk a lot about. Saskia Hawley is on to bowl the final over of the power play. Middlesex's star all-rounder. Starts with one that has Brooker reaching.
Yeah, like I said, over in Australia over the winter, alongside the New South Wales Breakers, been in and around Sydney Thunder as well.
So that's going to be 1 for Brooker. Yeah, and she's played in the Women's Big Bash a little while back as well. 4 games back in 2019-2020. So this is someone with a lot of experience. That was with Thunder. Played for Sunrisers as well in the Old English regional setup a couple of years ago. Now relocated to the UK. Swept straight at short mid-wicket. Sweet just showing a couple of signs of a little bit of frustration there.
Yeah, this is good from Hawley, the last over of the power play.
That's just worked away for one more, so 2 off 4 from this one.
Now it is looking slightly dark overhead. And I can see a few in the members pushing up towards where it's covered. That's never a good sign.
That one's just dabbed away to point. Yeah, there is definitely a fair trickle of rain coming down. Forgive us for sounding like we might be half guessing, but it's because we're up in a nicely covered glass commentary box, but there were predicted to be showers around. Well bowled by Hall, nearly getting the outside edge. And that is the end of the over. It's a power play that, having been sent into bat, Leicestershire Foxes will be happy with, but the 2 overs of spin have both only gone for 2 each. 40 without loss after 6.
Yeah, you would say the power play perhaps belongs to Leicestershire here, especially having not lost a wicket as well. These two now well set. They started really well and just been pegged back slightly. They'll be feeling pretty confident, these two now. 15 from 20 and 22 from 17. So Brooker just slightly the slower of the two.
Now another new bowler coming into the attack. Anna Davis. With her leg spin, she's vice-captain of this Blast side. She brings a bowler's perspective to the leadership group. Studies biomechanical sciences at Oxford University as well. Starts with a pretty decent delivery. It's a 5-4 onside field. Again, something Middlesex have used not just today but for a lot of this competition, encouraging their bowlers to really keep the stumps in play. Really gives that one plenty of flight. It's a slight miscue from Sweet, who will get 1. But you saw the footwork there, you saw the intent from Sweet, does not want to let Davis settle into a contest.
Yeah, she's trying to get to the pitch of the ball as well, isn't she? And then force Davis to perhaps adjust her length if she knows that Brooker is going to advance down the pitch at her.
Oh, that's come off the inside edge. That's well bowled as well. And eventually Brooker scampers through. She's had a curious blast, Rebecca Brooker. Before this innings, 5 ducks in 8 innings. But the 3 innings where she's got off the mark, she's gone on to make quite significant contributions. Well, this is skied up, but it won't be a catching chance. It's almost like a check sort of, I was going to say check drive, but almost a check chip towards the cow corner kind of area. Wolf does the fielding. She knew the sweeper was out there and that if she went through with it, she'd probably be gone. Oh, beautifully bowled, and well, how is that missed? How is that not out? Oh, that's so clever from Davis. That's come back, and I think it's fair to say Brooker didn't pick it. It didn't work out quite what was going on.
I think she's pointing at her arm there. She seems to think it's hit her in the arm. In my head, I thought stuck bails were going to fly.
Yeah. It's nice to know I'm not the only one. Well, this will surely be out. It is out. It's the first wicket of finals day. It's been coming. Well bowled by Hannah Davis. Simple catch at short, fine leg. And Rebecca Brooker, the Leicestershire Foxes skipper, has to go 43 for 1.
Yeah, it did feel like it was coming, didn't it? And just bring on the leggy. Force a little bit of pressure. The scoreboard pressure starting to build as well. Just a few singles. And then the previous delivery got her sort of flummoxed. And the very next one finds the sort of top edge. And catch taken easy as you like. Sort of sat up, was there to be taken. Yeah, looks to get down and sweep. Easy. Big celebration, the fist pump.
Yeah, they would have been a little bit wary of the platform that was getting built there, Middlesex. I'll be pleased to finally have Brooker and Sweet separated. Rachana Kambampati with the take. Scarlett Hughes joins Sweet in the middle. On loan from Blaze. Came in and made an immediate impact in her first 3 games. 37 off 36 against Worcestershire. 29 off 22 against Northampton. And 30 off 23 against Derbyshire. It's just not quite matched that form in the last few games, but we'll hope to reproduce it here on the big stage. Left-hander as well, which in its own way can provide awkwardness for opposing teams. For now we'll be watching Sweet face Kambampati, who was pumped up after taking that catch and has now got the ball in her hand. Steps down the track, Sweet going for that gap and has fixed it perfectly. Oh, that's a lovely shot from Francesca Sweet. Keeps the legs out of the way so the fast hands can come through. Footwork down the track. Welcome to the game, Rachana Kambampati. 4 runs.
Yeah, this is a great shot. She absolutely smoked it. A couple of inches perhaps short of that rope. I thought this could have gone the whole way. Just holding the blade, shuffles down, gets herself nicely balanced. And sets off a run. Well, it was no need to run at all on that one.
Gives it flight again, might have got her. Sweet. Oh, gets a life. It would have been a tough diving catch for long on coming around. Francesca Sweet would have had her heart in her mouth, and it goes for 4. Bit of luck for the competition's top run scorer.
Yeah, back-to-back boundaries to start the over from Kambampati. And this one just not quite timed like she would have hoped. And for a moment thought she was in the game. It would have had to be a sensational catch.
I think it was Sonali Patel out there. So that's down the ground. They're going to come back for 2. This is a misfield from Patel. So nervous few moments for Middlesex, who've got to refine their composure. Leicestershire Foxes past 50. And Francesca Sweet is looking dangerous. Nice touch shot from Sweet, but won't get anything for it. So Rachana Kambampati's nickname comes from a game day where she chose some rather unusual attire.
Okay.
So most players on a game day, you come down, you know, you're in the team tracksuit, right? That's relatively standard. Sweet sweeps this away. It's over. Fielder at short mid-wicket. That's good covering around from Cal to keep it to 1. She came down in a Hannah Montana t-shirt.
I'm here for it.
And after that, the die was cast by Finty Trussler that her nickname was Rachana Montana. And so that, with the little bit of rhyming work in the name, became the fix. So that within the camp is what she's known as. On field here, she's gone for 11 with 1 ball left, but she's getting to bowl at the new batter Hughes. It's pretty much the same field as it was for Sweet, just mapped out the other way round. Nice looking cut shot from Scarlett Hughes out to deep cover to get off the mark. So 12 off the over. Great over for Leicestershire, great over for Francesca Sweet. 55 for 1 off 8.
Yeah, she's really getting into her business now, Sweet. 35 from 25. Hughes has faced just 1 at the other end, so she's sort of just got a front row seat at the moment to whatever Sweet is up to at the other end. And they need to find a second wicket here, Middlesex, because they're just starting to race again. With a hell of a start from Leicester.
Do tend to be a bit dependent at times on Francesca Sweet. She's scored comfortably more than double the number of runs of anyone else in the Leicestershire shirt in this competition this season. So she's the one in particular Routledge will be targeting, but of course bowling to Hughes, who kept the strike from that single off the previous over. Should be a good matchup for Middlesex this. The offie to the left-hander, but That's a short and wide delivery and possibly should have been stopped in the covers. Instead it goes for 4. First boundary for Hughes. Middlesex not having their absolute best couple of overs here, both with the baller in the field. Routledge would bowl that very tight first over. Just got to refine that line after a rare bad ball. And that'll be 1, so Hughes is on 6 off 3.
That was just a little darted in this time from Routledge. Great first over, so I don't mind her coming on for a second at all. I think this is a good, wise decision from Captain Saskia Hawley.
Yeah, one thing to keep an eye out for, it's often Routledge and Hawley that bowl the last 4 overs. It's very rare you see spin used that much at the death. Better delivery, straight at point from Sweet. It's interesting, I was mentioning her being bottom-handed. She plays rackets, and she's won quite a lot of amateur titles in that sport. Plays a fair bit of squash as well, and you can see that sometimes in the way she bats. Another decent catch shot, and again, straight at point.
I think you get it with a lot of young players, especially hockey as well. I was over in Ireland doing a lot of their game, and it turns out so many of the Irish players have played hockey to a very good level, and you can see it when it comes into the game, especially the reverse sweep.
So that one has managed to pierce the infield.
And it's that ability to use the wrists, because obviously in hockey you only have the stick one way, you don't have left-handed sticks, so you have to be able to work on the reverse.
And you're going to be talking about, I'm guessing, a lot of hurling, a lot of camogie.
A lot of hurling, camogie.
You've got your Gaelic games coming into the mix. Last ball of the over. Hughes facing Routledge. It's got to just to the lefty. Routledge, Middlesex's Player of the Year back in 2023, and there has managed to come back brilliantly from an over that had a bad start. The first ball went for 4, the last 5 went for just 2. 6 off the over, 61 for 1 off 9. Now there's a dilemma here for Captain Hawley. Kamban went for 12 off her first over. Does Hawley look in a different direction? Certainly got plenty of options in this team. It's a team littered with all-rounders, like any good successful T20 side. I think Hawley's going to take the responsibility on herself here.
Yeah, I don't mind this actually. Went for just 2 from her first over. They need a couple of tidy, economical overs back to back.
Well, that's cut straight at point, but a good stop there.
Yeah, it's well fielded. I thought that had 4 written all over it, just piercing that gap.
Katie Wolf to her left. They've got a little phrase they use in the Middlesex team for their fielding. Sweeps down the track and then just dabbing away to point. It's hype, but it's H-I-P-E, which give you a few balls at home to guess the buzzwords that might be involved in each of the letters. Swept away, just wide of short mid-wicket.
I've got absolutely no idea, and it'll just be dead air of me trying to figure it out, so you're going to have to tell me.
It's intensity, pressure, energy, now trying to remember, hostility is the H.
I was going to say, that doesn't spell hype. I'm pretty sure hype doesn't start with an I, but I got you now. So what was it? Hostility,
intensity, press, energy.
Oh.
Press or pressure. Well, that's well bowled by Hawley, and it's a good shot as well from Hughes. Notice any good batter against spin, they're very good at getting really deep in their crease or down to the pitch of the ball, and Hughes went back with a lot of confidence and calmness there. 2 off 4 from this over though. That's cut out the gap, so 3 off 5 now. And she so often has been through this blast campaign. Saskia Hawley, once again, a player that Middlesex depend on. More wickets than anyone else, more runs and more catches. That's what you call leading from the front.
Yeah, leave something for everyone else.
Last ball of the over. Last legitimate ball of the over. Rare wide from Saskia Hawley, who's played 5 ODIs and 17 T20Is for Scotland as well, via her mum, who was born in Edinburgh. Worked away by Hughes, is interested in 2. Would have been a bad decision, and it's a good decision to stick at 1. So 5 off the over at the midway point. Leicestershire Foxes have laid the foundations. It's now time to kick on. 66 for 1 off 10.
Yeah, I think this is a really good foundation set now. They've got the opportunity, they've got plenty of wickets in hand. And yes, we talk about Sweet up the order, perhaps being, you know, one of their better hitters, bigger hitters. We've seen the end of Brooker already, 16 from 23 for her. But they are sort of top heavy, this Leicestershire side. So you think, you know, they've got to capitalise and try and kick on now. 66 already on the board. Look at that. Already a hell of a lot of bowlers used. What, 7 bowlers already. She likes to do this, Saskia Hawley. She doesn't, you know, don't want the batter to get set against a particular bowler to bowl through hers. Keeps mixing it up and just keeps changing it up. They've got really good variation within this squad. The leggies, the off spin, bit of pace up early. Yeah, so Davis back into the attack.
Yeah, you mentioned that with the bowlers. Routledge and Hawley, I expect, are going to bowl the last 4 here. So for Hawley, it's probably a case of getting to 16. Davis bowled that excellent first over that picked up the wicket of Brooker. And has picked up the wicket of Sweet as well. The top run scorer in this competition has to go. Fantastic from Hannah Davis. Sweet looking for her favourite area through that mid-wicket, wide long on region. And a very composed 38 off 33 is finished by Davis. Big, big scalp, 67 for 2.
Yeah, this is exactly what they needed. We were saying that they needed to kick on, and that foundation had been set nicely, but this, she just managed to get a little bit of turn. Goes for the big swing, kept low. For a moment thought it was going to go over the stumps, and you could just see from behind the stumps the big celebration. And that is the wicket that they were searching for, Middlesex. They'll be feeling really buoyed by this. Hughes at the other end, not yet really got going, 9 from 7. It brings Weston out to the middle. Davis, great stuff from her.
Yeah, she's having a dream finals day. So, here comes Lucy Weston, one of their own at Leicestershire. She's been with them since the under-13s. She's on the Loughborough Lightning's pathway and goes to Edinburgh Uni as well. Captain the Foxes under-18s as well, and has played indoor cricket for England, which is interesting, because anyone who knows anything about indoor cricket will tell you it's definitely not just outdoor cricket indoors. A totally different set of skills are required for it.
It's also actually sometimes terrifying to play.
Yep, absolutely. Try being 5 yards from a batter as they sort of nail a cover drive at you. Sort of like, imagine fielding in at short leg or silly mid-off without a lot of padding.
Yeah, it's not made for the faint-hearted, indoor cricket.
I would imagine Lucy Weston, more often than not, though, is the person hitting the ball at you rather than being hit. She's facing Davis now. That's beautifully bowled by Davis. Some are top spinners and some are sort of turning in a more sort of square-like way. It's definitely a pitch that has a bit of purchase on it. I was looking to get off the mark there, but that would have been a terribly badly judged single. And he's rightly eventually sent back by Hughes.
Yeah, they're now just on a slight rebuild here to losing their heavy striker. The last thing they want is to just gift a wicket with a silly run out.
Oh, this is launched. just short of mid-wicket from Weston. Gets off the mark with that one. Just 2 off this over, with 1 ball left. Adjusting for the left-handed Hughes. He's looked nice and composed for a 9 off 7. And then he's going to move into double figures here. So end of the over. 69 for 2 off 11 then. Oh, it's a dilemma here for Hawley, because it's spin that's actually, ironically, done most of the damage, despite the potentially favourable overhead conditions and a green-looking pitch for the seamers. But he tends to prefer bowling both Self and Routledge towards the death. But Routledge is going to come back here for a third.
No, I don't mind this at all, actually. I know you can stick with what you normally do and have them down the order, but if you've got rid of the 2 big hitters early on and you're just trying to get a squeeze on here and you're sort of hunting for a 3rd wicket, this is good captaincy, I think, from Saskia Hawley.
Yeah, Routledge has gone for just 8 off 2, parsimonious in the extreme. I wonder whether also just the left-handed Hughes being in is maybe a little factor, but that's a horrid delivery. That's going to be 3 wides all told. I was just trying to fire it in, but it was the movement, the pre-delivery movement of Hughes that forced the error from Routledge. So that's clever batting. I was trying to fire it kind of at that front pad. Nice looking drive, but straight at cover.
Yeah, misfield at cover, went straight to her. There shouldn't really have been a run there.
Yeah, they haven't quite been their absolute best at moments in the field today, Middlesex. Routledge, who first came to prominence with some superb performances in the varsity matches between Cambridge and Oxford. First woman to take a hat-trick at Lords, did that last year in that very fixture. Also hit a double 100 in a different varsity game 3 years ago. That's nicely bowled, and it's nicely played as well by Weston.
Love a varsity match, don't we? I like that the women's gets played at Lords as well. It's very important, I think.
Yeah, as it should. The 2022 one was still back elsewhere. That was at Arundel, but by last summer, and been given the stage it deserves. Goes on the reverse. This is clever from Hughes. There's no one behind square in that region, and we'll get 4. Lovely batting from Scarlett Hughes, manipulating the field, asking questions of Routledge.
Yeah, really smart cricket. So that run rate now up at 6.78. Slowed down since earlier on, but really good work. Gets down low and knows exactly where that real estate is.
This time pulled away in a more conventional way. So this over has gone for 10 from 4 here. Routledge having bowled 2 very good tight overs. Finds herself under pressure a little. She's got an economy rate in the whole competition hovering around 5.7, which you take that any day of the week. Nice powerful shot from Weston. Looking at 2, oh, they're going to come back. Had the throw gone to the other end there, might have been a little dicey.
No, I think they were fine, actually. A little bit of a misfield, a bit of a fumble out there in the deep as well. I think this is just where Middlesex really need to try and tidy up. There are just a few errors coming into their fielding. Just giving away free runs.
Well, this over has gone for 11, but Routledge has at least got out of the final ball with a dot. So 81 for 2 after 12. Both sides in different ways will probably be relatively content, but I think Leicestershire, particularly given that they came into this one the underdogs and were put into bat on a surface that looked tricky to bat on, will be the happier.
Yeah, you would have thought so. They made a pretty good start, 66 on the board after 10 overs. There's a red kite. Flies over, great view of the ground if you're up there. You always know you're in this part of the world, the red kites all around.
It's a great bit of local knowledge.
I think I'm showing my age. Once you start recognising birds and plants, it's all over.
I don't know, I think that kind of thing in between balls is quintessential to cricket commentary.
I can tell you what, there's definitely no red buses around. You're lucky if you find a bus.
Kamban Patti is changing ends. This is a big moment. Her first over went for 12. It starts her second with a dot. 7 bowlers used already, so as she has had all competition, there's plenty of options for Saskia Hawley, who I'd imagine herself will bowl the 18th and the 20th. She's clearly decided, though, that spin is the go-to here. Swept away, swept hard, swept in the gap and swept for 4. Great shot by Hughes. Committed to it and really got those hands through the ball.
Yeah, they needed that really to sort of break the shackles slightly, and they seem to be trying to target Kamban Patti. 12 from the first over, look at that, really wide stance, gets down early.
Rolled the wrists on it as well, that's a textbook sweep shot. So that's hit hard, but hit straight at mid-off. Outrages the fielding. Hughes is looking in very good touch here. 20 off 14. He's well placed to explode at the back end. Won't get anything there. Kind of slapped back to Kamban Patti, trying to go down the ground. Scarlett Hughes, I know the Leicestershire head coach Stephen Franklin was over the moon to get in. That's alone throughout this blast competition. Ex-Essex and Sunrisers. Played in the Charlotte Edwards Cup as well, 7 games back 3 summers ago. Short and left alone by Hughes. I think Hughes thinks this is going to be wided. Maybe.
No, looks fine to me.
Absolutely fine. It's comfortably inside the blue lines. I think from the reaction, she just maybe misjudged the line of it. Having a bit of a chuckle about it. 3 dots. That tends to mean in the T20 game something's very likely to happen here. Well, what happens is it's a full toss that Kamban Patti will feel relieved as only gone for 1. Couldn't have picked out the sweeper better if she'd have tried. So despite the early boundary, only 5 comes off the over. 86 for 2 off 13.
Yeah, definitely got away with 1 at the end of the over there, didn't she? So often the full toss, just your eyes light up. He's trying to do too much with it, and it could have easily gone down the throat of the fielder. So just a little discussion between the two out in the middle, Hughes and Weston. Hughes doing the heavy lifting in this partnership at the moment. But that run rate healthy enough at the moment, 6.62. They've got 7 overs still to come and wickets in hand, Leicestershire. But, you know, they want to get themselves obviously beyond that 3 figure and then just keep pushing on. They should feel very comfortable with the foundation they've now set and just got to keep putting the pressure on these Middlesex bowlers. Looks like we're going to go back to some pace again.
Yeah, I've gone back to Wolf. And you should have to go back to something quicker at some point, Hawley, because of the combination of bowlers she's got. So again, this is a calculated risk. Wolf's first over, which was the 5th of the innings, went for 12. Starts a new one with a wide. It's always tricky, that right arm around angle to a left-hander, trying to make sure that that front arm doesn't collapse and you end up slinging it down leg. Katie Wolf from Watford plays her club cricket at Ickenham. Been in the Middlesex pathway since 2012. There's a lot of Middlesex players who've been there a long time, and this means so much to be at a final state.
It's a very long time ago. You sort of forget how long ago 2012 is.
There's a few who are similarly as long as Wolf in terms of being there. Guy Gole has been at Middlesex since she was 10 years old. She turned 27 on Tuesday. Short and nicely guided away and fantastically fielded at point. There's a moment where she didn't know where the ball had gone, Sonali Patel. I'm sure she and her teammates will be able to have a chuckle about this when they look back. The initial stop was absolutely superb.
I think I've done too much work in social media, because as soon as I see something like that, my eyes just light up and think, right, what music can I put over this? Just spinning around in circles.
Eventually the ball was located and 2 runs were saved by the stop. Wolf again struggled to find her line and length so far this over, Katie Wolf. Works as a physio alongside her cricket, doing a placement year at uni. On which note, it's a very young Middlesex team. Guy Gole is sort of the old age pensioner of it at 27. Captain Hawley is 25, and then nobody else is older than 22. So your average age... Oh, Wolf, beg your pardon, 24. Is that slapped away? Didn't quite go where she wanted it to, Hughes, but the power might get her 4. Diving stop, make sure it's not a boundary. It's 2 instead.
I love what we talk about her being 24, as if that makes her the sort of granny of the team.
She's the 3rd oldest.
Oh.
She's the 3rd oldest of the playing 11. Indeed, the 3rd oldest in the entire squad today. The average age is sort of hovering around 21.
I'll just go and do my knitting in the corner.
Same. Or much better delivery from Wolf. But they are going to pinch a single. That's good running.
Yeah, it's really good awareness, actually, from these two. It was a great delivery. The Yorker, perfect Yorker, and managed to just slam her bat down, keep it out, and get enough on it to be able to squirt it away for the bonus single, really.
Yeah, it's been a bitty over. She's already bowled 6 deliveries, but only 4 that count, of course, with the 2 wides. 4, 5, 6, 7 off the 4 so far. Weston right now has largely just been giving Hughes the strike, which seems sensible given the rhythm that Hughes had got herself into. Short, and Weston gets her hands through it, but straight at long on. Fetch that from a long way outside off, Lucy Weston.
Yeah, I can't decide if she's just starting to get a little frustrated. She's not quite timing them. Hughes at the other end is looking a lot more comfortable.
Yeah, she's not timing them like she did last weekend as well. She smashed 50 off 36, unbeaten against Derbyshire to help Leicestershire progress. Turned away through square leg for 1 to complete the over. Solidly productive over for Leicestershire, 9 from it. 95 for 2 with 6 left, so if they could go at 10 and over for the last 6, that would get them 155.
Yeah, they'd be very happy with that, you would think. In a semi-final, runs on the board. That's what I like to think. I think I'm old school in that fact, maybe. Seems to be the modern thing to enjoy chasing.
Well, it's enjoying the idea of chasing until the reality sets in. Those are two different things, particularly under this kind of pressure. Davis is back. There's no way she wasn't going to bowl out with how she's been bowling. So I would imagine of these last 6 she'll bowl a couple. Hawley will bowl a couple. And then we'll have to find 2 overs from somewhere. Routledge likely one of them. And then one that will have to be found from somewhere. Swept hard, swept for 4. Lovely shot from Hughes. Not the first time we've seen that today. Just a little full, keeps that front leg nice and out of the way, rolls the wrists on it, and that is textbook perfect.
Isn't it just? Isn't it just? One for your highlights reel later on. Show you, coach. I've done exactly what you've been telling me to do since I was 10.
Yeah, that's delightful. And Hughes is looking dangerous here for Middlesex. Hawley's adjusting her field now, having seen multiple sweeps go through that region. So Hawley's going to come in at square leg instead. And now there's a A deep mid-wicket, a deep long on, and what I can only describe between them as a deep cow corner. And essentially, that goes to the deep mid-wicket for one, sort of trying to cover as many variants of the Scarlet Hughes sweep shot as possible.
Yeah, seriously plugged, aren't they, on that onside.
100 up from 86 balls. Having been sent into bat, they'll be pretty pleased with this, the Leicestershire Foxes. Remember that they had to fight hard just to even make it to finals day. 4 wins and 4 losses in the North Group. Comes down the track, good footwork, meets it on the half volley, but will only get 1 Western. Started their campaign with back-to-back losses at Northampton, Yorkshire, so they were in a very tight spot. And 3 straight wins against Worcestershire, Northampton, Derbyshire got them back up and running. And just when you thought that the wheels were clicking into gear, they got bowled out for 55 at Worcestershire. So that's short. That'll be 1 more. Nice accumulation.
Well, that sort of tells you the story, really, of T20 cricket, doesn't it? All you need sometimes is just one person to go on and go big, and you can get a mammoth score. And then another day, when it's just wickets start tumbling quickly, everyone's sort of scampering around trying to find their helmets, their pads. You get out there, you're not really mentally ready. Suddenly you're skittled out for 55, and it changes again the next week.
Swept away. 4th single in a row. Yeah, I know that defeat really knocked them, because that would have been a 4th straight win, and instead suddenly they were in a really tight equation with Northampton to battle for that other spot. They had a home loss against Yorkshire where they gave Yorkshire a good run for their money, and they needed to win their final game against Derbyshire. It was a tight, low-scoring affair. They won by 16 runs in the end. Goes on the reverse. That's brave and good wicket-keeping from Sproul, who for a second didn't know where the ball was. 8 off the over. 103 for 2.
So 5 overs still to come here at the county ground. 103 for 2 on the ball by Leicestershire. They've got plenty of wickets in hand. I think it's now sort of time to start trying to push up into the next gear, because 103 on the board, yeah, fine, wickets in hand, but the last thing you want to do is get through your 20 overs, maybe only 3-4 wickets down. I think actually we didn't really take it on in those last 5 overs.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better myself. And they've got Ellen Watson in the hutch, their Scottish dynamo, someone who's a natural finisher. Likes of Ellie Phillips and Flora Davies as well can contribute late runs. Western on 7 off 9. It's time for her to go big if she can. Hawley is back. He's going to bowl out at this end and try and limit the damage. Western for now just hands the strike back to Hughes. You can see with the pedigree Hughes is playing with, you wouldn't be surprised to know that she's previously been at Essex, she's previously been in the Sunrisers setup, and she is now on loan from Tier 1 Blaze.
I do find the loan thing, I'm not quite sure where it sits with me. Well, coming in and out from Tier 1 down into Tier 2, and then you've got players who would normally be in a Tier 2 side who have been then replaced by someone coming down from a Tier 1 side.
So that's a way through that position that really is a cow corner fielding position. It's not deep mid-wicket. Hughes will get 1. What I can tell you in black and white is you can have a maximum of 3 loan players from Tier 1 sides in a playing 11, but there is no limit on the amount of academy loan players that you can have in a playing 11. That's what the rules and regs state. Oh, gone. Hawley just pushes it wider, quicker and flatter, and Western picks the wrong ball to come down at. Simple stumping for Sproul. 3rd wicket of the day, 105 for 3. Western never quite found her gears, and the Middlesex captain strikes.
Yeah, really smart cricket this actually from Saskia Hawley. She knew that the pressure had just built and she was going to try and take her on. Just floated it that little bit wider, and it's a sign of a seasoned pro, someone who doesn't mind holding their nerve, because if she got hold of that she could have slapped it through the offside, but just wide enough. and no mistake behind the stumps, and the third wicket goes down.
Saskia Hawley's 11th wicket of the competition this season. And she's very unusual because she's a spinner that bowls a lot in the power play and at the death. So the aforementioned Ellen Watson heads out. It's captain this season at times in Brooker's absence. Yeah, Hawley, you sense, had just spotted Georgie Heath alongside me, picked out the sense that was the time where Weston was coming down no matter what came out of the hand. So the perfect ball to push it a little wider, but still inside that wide line. Hawley defended 8 to win off the last over against Gloucestershire in the final over last weekend, and it's a trick she's pulled out of the hat in previous times. He was doing a good job of restricting. Now, the field's going to change, I reckon, a little for Watson, who's known for her paddles, reverse sweeps, ramps and scoop shots against spin. So don't be surprised if we quickly see things like that from Watson hit against Hawley. And there we go, straight into it. Knew that there was no one in that area. Wanted to, but good sprightly stuff from Sproul as the wicket-keeper commuting out to short fine leg keeps it a 1.
I just love watching wicket-keepers go chasing. There's gloves flying in all directions. They're wearing pads. And the determination of a wicket-keeper, once they've set off and they're right, I've committed to this now.
Honestly, the amount of times you see them move faster than outfield players, just determined to make it worth the journey. And this time it's Hughes' turn to get clever with what I'm going to call a reverse paddle. That is the end of the over. 107 for 3. Lovely over from Hawley. You'd expect nothing less. Middlesex's star rounder, star captain, Star Baker. That is 107 for 3 with 4 overs left.
Now you're just seeing on your screen, that was the first wicket of the day to go down. And then the second, that was a wonderful piece of bowling. And then the latest, Saskia Hawley just tossing it up that little bit wider, having a waft, completely missed it. And no mistake behind the stump. So Hughes, you think that now really is the time to try and push the pedal. She's set, she's been out there a long time, 35 from 29. She's got to find some boundaries here. And it's Kamban Patti back into the attack. They attacked her in the first over, didn't they? Went for 12 from her first. And how they would like that again, the Leicestershire Foxes.
I think they've just sensed, Hawley's just sensed that spin's working better. So that's why she wants to keep Kamban Patti going. Played straight back to her by Hughes, who ends up in a slightly awkward spot and scurries back. You would have seen there on the wickets montage a little fist pump from Hawley. It's she is known for her fist pump celebration, but the queen of the celly for Middlesex by all accounts is Rachana Kamban Patti bowling now. That's pulled away, swept hard, and it does go for 4 by Scarlett Hughes. There's so many fielders out for that sweep shot, and she still managed to get in a gap between the two of them. What a shot, what power, what timing.
Yeah, the precision she's managed to play that with. Those two fielders almost close enough to hold hands, and she's managed to get it between the two of them.
It does feel like there's 3,000 fielders out on that sweep shot. There is only 3, but 2 of them bisected there. There's a deep mid-wicket, a deep cow corner, and sort of a wide long on as well. This time goes inside out through extra cover. Oh, that's all class from Hughes. In a very different way, makes room, gets the fast hands through the ball, back-to-back boundaries. Serious questions for Kamban Patti to answer.
Yeah, well, this is she's doing exactly what we said that Leicestershire needed to do at this point. Hughes, she's stepped up, she's pushed up into the next gear, goes back-to-back boundaries and takes on the bowler who had proved expensive at times already today. First time into the onside, this time inside out through the covers. Glorious looking stroke. She moves into the 40s.
Yeah, so how does Kamban Patti respond now? You often tend to see a spinner go quicker and flatter here. Maybe tosses it up. Does try and toss it up. Going to take a quick single to short fine leg. Now Watson against the spin of Kambampati is also intriguing in a different way. She will possibly look to manipulate the ball behind square on either side of the wicket, and as reflects that, the field completely changes. Hawley's got herself in at almost kind of just out of shot. Was kind of nearly holding hands with a non-striker, but now she's gone to short fine leg, and it's a very spread onside field. Most of the offside field up. And Watson uses the trusty outside edge. We'll get one.
We all know about the trusty outside edge.
Absolutely, relatable content for everyone. And now the field once again disperses and changes rapidly from switch from righty to lefty, and to try and do their best to cover the Scarlett Hughes sweep shot. Well, that's dribbled away. Routledge has to give chase. There will be a couple of leg byes to finish the over. So it's a very productive over for Leicestershire. 119 for 3, so 12 from it. Just 3 overs left, and that 150 milestone is looking very much achievable.
Yeah, 150 in 3 overs. It'd be some good going, you would reckon, but if Hughes can get back on strike, then perhaps. But I think maybe the 140 slightly more realistic. But I also could be forced to eat my words when she launches the next ball for 6. So,
or you can be forced to eat a hat that will turn into a cake at some
I'd
point.
eat the cake. I'm not eating a hat, thanks.
Now, as promised, will be Routledge back at the death. She's been so often trusted with that responsibility. So she's back for her last. And gone. Watson is out. 119 for 4. Well, Izzy Routledge so often finds the answers to the big questions for Middlesex. Her first wicket of finals day, and Watson, the Scottish international who can be so dangerous at the death, has to go.
Yeah, great bit of bowling, this one. Just looks to try to do something innovative. Just clipping the bails. That's all you got to do. And that's what they need. And it's also a dot ball, that means. So now 119 for 4. But Hughes is still out there. She's at the non-strikers at the moment. She'll be itching to get her back on strike. Reach that milestone. But more than that, it's not all about personal milestones. Get her team up to that around that 140 mark if they can.
Yeah, there can be a temptation for someone like Flora Davies to look for boundaries straight away, but actually there's also a real percentage play of just making sure Hughes gets to face as much of the bowling as possible. As Routledge has a little chat with her skipper Hawley. I know there's a lot of very proud people at Triplo Cricket Club watching this live stream. That's where Izzy Routledge has come through and played her cricket, captained the women's team, played regularly for the men's first team as well, and is coach there as well, giving back to the juniors for 4 years or so now, and is on the path to doing her badges. He's going to be key as an opener in this chase, but for now she's going to try and keep restricting at the death. Flora Davies facing up. Blaze Academy Player of the Year a couple of years ago, on loan from Blaze. She's in their academy still. She went on Blaze's senior pre-season tour to Abu Dhabi last year before the start of the new season.
We've just got a slight ground delay here. I'm not actually sure what it is, but there's a ground staff in shorts running on.
Yeah, this is one of those sort of cricket being cricket moments. Moment for everyone to just take stock of where we sit. 17 balls left. The bail, I think, has got it's a broken bail from that delivery.
I've never seen a bail broken before.
I've seen it once, I think.
It was in the men's T20 blast. Wasn't there a stump split recently?
That's about right. I've heard of stump splitting a lot, but not often bails. Hopefully this change of bail is a little more sturdy, because you sense that it probably will be getting a fair bit of knocking across the rest of the day. Now, eventually, Davies will get to face her first ball. She's the first women's cricketer to score a competitive century at Grace Road. So she has her moment in history, Flora Davies. She's facing Izzy Routledge. Routledge, who's been in the Essex pathway once upon a time for a couple of years, and a couple of years in the Sunrisers Academy as well.
I love that with the first woman to score a century at Grace Road. She got a gold cap. So they all had their Leicestershire caps presented to them, and hers, she gets a gold one.
Love that. That's a piece of history. Sliced up. Might well be out. Oh, what a bit of luck. Just wide of Hawley. Really sliced that, Davies. But ultimately, as we were sort of discussing, has found a way to get Hughes on strike.
Yeah, gold cap, very IPL.
Yeah, it is. I was saying to Izzy Routledge earlier this week, what's she been given to have been the first women's player to get a hat-trick at Lords. That's something that definitely you feel like deserves a bit of memorabilia to remember the occasion. She did that in the varsity match.
I feel like it should just be, you know...
Goes on the paddle. Great paddle from Hughes. She's used that shot to good effect a few times today. She'll get 2.
I think it should be like free life membership, or, you know, free coffees forever or
free
something.
Coffees,
you know, or
forever.
a Nando's black card. I'd take that over a golden cap.
Yeah, fair. I'm sure she's not dissatisfied with having one, though.
Well,
you know, looks good on the mantelpiece. Routledge has just dropped onto the pads, and we've seen that Hughes sweep shot again, but this time straight at deep backward square. Dances onto a very confident 47 as the two Blaze-Loneys try and give Leicestershire some late impetus.
Yeah, very much looking more like a 140 than a 150, but still 2 and a bit overs to go.
Oh, got herself in all sorts of a tangle there, Davies. Routledge responded very well to the batter's pre-delivery movement, and it left Davies in something of a tangle. So a great def over from Izzy Routledge. That's been a feature of this blast campaign for Middlesex, and it's the numerically satisfying 1, 2, 3 for 4 with 2 overs left.
But it's not, though, because 1, 2, 3 for 5 is far better.
Ah, yeah, good shout. Yeah, I hear you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is my favourite.
Sounds like you're starting to sing Mambo number 5.
Oh yeah, I could. We don't want to lose viewers, but I could. Maybe in the interval.
Yeah, maybe just building up to the final. Just cover that.
Yeah.
Cover that 2-hour gap that we've got. Now, I did mention that at some point Hawley was likely to have to turn back to another bowler to fill in the last of these overs, and it's going to be Davis, and then Hawley will surely bowl the last over.
Hawley, surely.
Yep. So Davis so far has been the pick of the bowlers. 2 for 14 off 3 by leggies, and she's got another hit. Simple catch in front of us. Wasn't going to drop that, and it's Scarlett Hughes who's been absolutely magnificent with the bat.
Michael, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
There we go. There we go. Mambo number 5 is the song of the day, but Middlesex are the ones dancing for delight because Scarlett Hughes is gone. She wanted to get to 50 in style, but Hannah Davies has her 3rd wicket.
It wasn't the cleanest of catches, actually, in the end, from Patel. She dropped it the first time and then managed to sort of catch it the second attempt on her thighs, but goes down as a catch in the scorebook, and that's all that matters, and it's the big scalp as well. Kamban Patty, she's been expensive at times today, and finally she gets the chocolates.
Yeah, so now the lower middle order, having just got out there, have got to inject energy and momentum. That's not easy. Laura Crofts is charged with trying to do it. So Davis could get a Michelle here. 2 wickets in 5 balls. Far stranger things have happened. You've got batters that have got to go for it. So she'll be eyeing that up, I'm sure. Laura Crofts out there, works as part of a charity her family run called Jordan's wee ones do some great work in the community around Leicestershire. Worth reminding you that neither of these sides are fully professional cricketers. So here's Davis continuing. That's a well-judged quick single to get Crofts off the mark. Both sides have got access to a lot of coaching resources, a lot of facilities. As one Middlesex player put it to me, you're not getting paid to play, but you no longer have to pay to play. Lovely shot down the ground, but very straight long on in Gole means that it's only one.
And the throw takes out the stumps. Nothing comes of it, but she knows that she can hit him should she need to.
Yeah, I must say, she didn't time that quite as well as I initially thought she did, Davies. It actually would have been caught by a conventional mid-on. For a second, like she'd absolutely blasted one back towards us. Cut straight at point, and they've both ended up at the same end, and that will be a run out. So that's the end of Davies for 2. Well, it's one of those awkward ones. It's straight at point. It's not quite clear whose call it is with the game situation where it was. Davies decided to run, Crofts didn't, and it's 1-2-5 for 6.
Yeah, just complete lack of communication. And there she is, Kamban with the big celly, as you talked about earlier, gives it a roar in the huddle. But this is just what they would have wanted, Middlesex. Just take regular wickets at the close. Not a lot of foot movement with the shot, but fielder comes straight in, knew exactly which end she was sending it to. Well gathered, good cricket all round from the fielders, slightly less good, and a lack of communication from the two batters out in the middle. And another goes down for Leicestershire in these dying overs.
Laura Crofts joined out there by Ellie Phillips. That's into the pads, slightly got away with that to get out of that ball with a dot at this stage of things. Last ball of Davis's spell, what a spell it has been. That'll be a single to finish it, so 3 for 17 off 4 for Hannah Davis, who has quite literally spun this semi-final, a few hours before that, in Middlesex's direction. 3 for 17 from her fault. 1-2-6 for 6 off 19.
So we're into the final over, and you can see down there Saskia Hawley has taken her hat off and handed it to the umpire, so she's going to take charge of this final over. Not surprised really at all. The captain, the seasoned pro, regular wicket taker, in charge with the final over. 1 for 11 from her 3 this morning. Still morning? Well, it was morning when we started, so... Two relatively fresh batters out in the middle. Phillips at the non-strikers yet to face a ball. Crofts 2 from the 4 that she's faced. So 6 deliveries to come.
Oh, and starts with one that was so close to being at direct hit. It might still well have been, but Sproul misses. It's a bit of scamperage that gets them through for a single. 1-2-7 with 5 balls left. Ali Phillips looking to find the ropes. Product of Walmley CC, now at Dorridge. She's on Warwickshire's EPP programme. She's been at Warwickshire since the under-11s. She's going to get a couple here.
Yeah, it's just landed in a really big space there, and it's that awkward roll with 2 fielders. Feels like you're sort of never going to get there.
Yeah, there's no real short boundary here today. As mentioned, it's pretty much entirely, apart from one tiny pocket, a uniform 60 all the way round. Goes on the reverse and tumbles over, but has managed to make it back despite some smart wicket keeping from Pippa Sproul.
It's well bowled as well from Saskia Hawley. Just anticipated that Phillips is going to try something a bit different.
Oh, swung away. That's a big, big strike. That's the first 6 of finals day. What a shot from Ellie Phillips. It's only the 3rd ball she's faced. There was a sweeper out there. All they'll do is fetch it.
Yeah, just what you want in the final over if you're a Leicestershire fan, a Leicestershire player. One of the bowlers thinking about, right, what are we going to defend here? And that pushes them up to 135. So 140 now looking very reasonable.
And it's got hold of this. This could well be 4 as well. Yeah. And it does go for 4. Despairing dive from the fielder. The best Hannah Hampton impression, but tipped it around the post. That's unfortunately not quite what's needed in this sport, of course. A brave effort nonetheless, but it's 6 and 4, so a bit of momentum here at the back end.
Yeah, now 13 from this final over so far. One more ball still to come. This is just swing for the hills.
Yeah, it's been a nice little cameo from Phillips. It's a rare, expensive over from Hawley. Comes down, tries to mow it, doesn't really time it. They've got to try and come back for 2. And they are going to come back for 2, and it will be the simplest of run-outs for Hawley. So 140 for 7. Crofts has run out from the final ball for 2. It's a nice cameo from Phillips. Makes 13 of her 5 faced. And it will be 141 to win.
And you know what? I don't think they'll be too disappointed with that as a score. Leicestershire Foxes, they lost the toss and were put into bat by Middlesex here today. It was a hefty start, wasn't it? 66 on the board at the halfway mark and got themselves to 139, so have just about more than doubled it. Perhaps they might have felt there were a few runs left out there, a couple of quiet overs sort of in that middle period when the bowlers came back into the party. And Middlesex, well, it's a sort of a round and about target, I would say. They'll feel confident that they can chase something like this down. They've got some heavy firepower in their batting lineup as well. But 141 on a finals day, the first semi-final of the day, the pressure on, the first ever League Two finals day. So 141 will be the target for Middlesex if they are to win this game and book themselves in a spot in the final this afternoon.
The spirit of cricket is a really precious thing.
The spirit of cricket.
Does the spirit of cricket exist?
It's about the spirit of the game.
The spirit of cricket is a bit cliche, but actually it's important to what makes the game.
What is it? This game we call cricket. Some say it's just that, a game. A way to pass the time. Made up of overs and innings, wickets and runs that can last 5 days, or a mere afternoon. But it's more than that, isn't it? It's more than the stumps and the wickets, the bat and the ball, more than winning and losing. What makes cricket cricket is us, the people. The people that play, volunteer, organise, spectate and facilitate. from the leaders on the field to those behind the scenes. Cricket is what we make it, through the values we share. It's a game run on respect, built on fairness and decency, where we embrace enjoyment, build belonging and progress with purpose, so that to anyone watching, they see a game for me. These are the values that make this game great, and they've always been there. But it's up to us now to carry them forward, with every ball, every stroke, every session of play, so that together we can help shape this beautiful game, this game that we love, this game we call cricket.
We're here today to launch the ICC Women's T20 World Cup 2026, which we are hosting here in England and Wales across 7 iconic venues next summer.
To have a home World Cup, to have watched it in the crowd and to have some a competition like that to look forward to next year is really, really special.
I want to support women's cricket in as many ways as I can, and I think we all need to find ways to support them, attend the games and root for our favourite teams and all the players.
I feel like I've played World Cups all around the world now, and it's going to be so exciting to play at home, play at Old Trafford. I think it's really exciting.
The energy today at this event was amazing. Sitting next to Malala, sitting across from Ellie. Energizing, empowering, and I think it was kind of a call of duty.
I think today's really important because you've brought a whole bunch of people with different perspectives into one room. It's very rare that you get everybody to clear their diaries to do that, and it just goes to show how important it is as well.
It'll pass quicker than you can ever imagine. Even the build-up to it, I think the build-up is almost just as special as the tournament itself.
You can kind of feel like something is changing.
You immediately feel like you're part of it and you're part of a movement.
What it means for us to host the World Cup, and I look back as a huge sports fan and think of the Euros for the women and what that did for women's sport, for football. We've now got a chance to go beyond what football did, and for it to become that seminal moment for cricket, for sport in this country.
But every time there is a victory, it is a ripple effect. It affects women's salaries and what they get because of their skill set, their dynamic personalities, and the audience that they grow. Everybody wins.
I think that it's just a really great opportunity to be able to build now on everything that we've spoken about today, so that next year is just the most amazing summer and it's a brilliant event.
We need your support, we love your support, and hopefully you can roar us on to many victories.
It's the year that women's cricket breaks into the mainstream and stays there.
Calling England cricketers.
My name is Hassan.
My name is Ravi.
My name is Taylor. And this is my way to play. You might be used to big crowds, big stadiums, big pitches.
My way to play is different.
I don't play on the pitch, I play on the street.
Playing beach cricket.
Hi, Robbie. Let's see who comes out on top there.
Yeah, hopefully me.
Showing all your friends how it's done.
Hassan, can I play?
Yeah, sure, you want a bat?
Yes, please.
Ready, Rav?
Ready?
Rules? Let's just say make them up as we go.
You see the ball swing, I hear it jingle. Over the wall, you're out.
Get that ball back.
No boundaries, just a shoreline.
So, do you fancy changing those whites for chukkies?
Fancy swapping the spikes for bare feet?
Fancy putting your senses to the test? Come and play my way.
That was awesome.
Well played, you're too good today.
Great hitting.
What a great shot.
Yes, Ravi!
Look cool and feel amazing.
Our games are full of action.
This is the way we play. Give it 100. Sign up now.
All the fun and all the games, they all start here with All Stars Cricket. Skills, friendships, smiles, dreams. It all happens here. Every session is all out action. All invited, even mums and dads. That's ball. Catch, go. All stars and All Stars.
Yeah. Welcome back to Northamptonshire, where thankfully the rain has relented. In just over an hour since we completed the first innings, where you may remember that Leicestershire Foxes posted 140 for 7, having been sent into bat, powered by 47 from Scarlett Hughes and 38 from Francesca Sweet. We are finally back with you. Won't surprise you to know that even with a bit of built-in delay time, we've lost a fair few overs. We're hopeful that all of the showers are gone now. The forecast was always predicted to have some intermittent showers around between about 11 AM and 2 PM. And the wicket that's had just a little sprinkling of rain before it got covered, which Leicestershire's particularly impressive seam battery, a big reason as to why they've got to finals day. We'll be very happy to hear that. Spectators still wanting to make sure they're dry, but we can assure you it has stopped raining. Middlesex opening pair of Izzy Routledge and Finty Trussler are ready to get out there, and we are reduced to 14 overs a side. So the power play, rather than being the normal 6-over power play, will be a power play that will last 4 overs and 1 ball. It will be a 4.1 over power play of 25 legitimate deliveries, a reduced target, which will be 108 to win, at a required run rate of about 7.7 and over. That's Amy Campbell's there. She's just had a net. Yorkshire facing Glamorgan later on. That semi-final time might be pushed back. There was always a possibility that would happen with a rain delay, so there's every chance semi-final 2 will start a little after 2:30 PM. Confirmation coming on that later on, but one thing I'm delighted to say I can confirm right now is that back alongside me, as she will be for the entirety of the day, is Georgie Heath.
Yeah, a bit of a shame that Mother Nature decided that it didn't want to see a 20 over a side semi-final here, but good that the rain has cleared. Great work again, as always, by the ground staff to get things cleared off quickly, and the two teams ready to rumble again. So shortened match. You can see not quite the blistering summer we've been seeing. There's a few in puffer coats, hats and coats on under the covers in the members area. But good news that we are going to get some play, because the last thing we want is to have to go to a coin toss.
Yeah, there's a series of permutations that are marginally different depending on Tier 1 or Tier 2. If both teams can't get the minimum 5 overs in with the bat, we then go to a first super over and a second super over. If the umpires deem those to not be possible, then the bowl out potentially came into play if both captains agreed on it and the umpires agreed on it. But the most likely response, if the game couldn't be completed on field in the conventional way, is a first super over and then a second super over. So thankfully there is quite a number of steps before we get to Georgie Heath and yours truly, Michael McCann, commentating on the toss for coin. I don't think
one to add to the show reel, isn't it?
Don't think anyone needs that. It is interesting to note that the regs are a little bit different for Tier 1. So Tier 1 tomorrow, the league table comes into place as a potential decider. But that's only if
fair enough as well, because obviously this is split into 2 groups, so we have the North and the South, whereas League 1 just comes through 1 group. Obviously, League 1, where this afternoon's semi-finalist Yorkshire will find themselves next year.
Yep, and Glamorgan the year after as well. And worth saying as well, while we're on the subject, that league table does only come into place tomorrow after 2 super overs have been tied. So, sorry, we get the beneficiary of that in the final. It's Blazers versus Blazers? Blaze versus Bears in the first game, and that's an elimination. Of course, difference today, we've got 4 teams here. And I know one thing that has quietly motivated the Middlesex camp is wanting to prove a point. There would be maybe an outside expectation that Yorkshire and Glamorgan, as the 2 sides who will be playing Tier 1 cricket in the next couple of years, would start the day as the most likely finalists.
Well, they can't both be finalists if they're playing each other in a semi-final.
That is absolutely spot on. Thank you for correcting my nonsense. The point I was getting to is Finty Trussler, in shot there, said as much in an interview after a win at Radlett. She said, a motivation to prove everyone else wrong that we're a top side. when I asked her to elaborate on that, she pretty much said a version of what I just said in terms of wanting to get a chance to have a crack at Glamorgan or Yorkshire, but they've got to get past Leicestershire Foxes first. In a game where they have the pressure of being the favourites. They have, of course, already played Glamorgan 3 times this season, Middlesex. They've beaten them twice and they've lost once. These two sides have not yet met in the new structure until today. Here we are out for part 2. 108 to win.
108. That is the target. Obviously revised after the rain break. 4.1 overs. The power play is going to be 14 over game.
So you've got 4, I would expect it's 4 bowlers can bowl 3 in terms of how bowling allocations work out. So that's another challenge for Becca Brooker to be aware of. Routledge taking guard. She is the 9th highest run scorer in the competition this season, and she's out there with Routledge. Routledge is the 9th highest run scorer in the competition, take 2, and Trussler is the 4th. So these two have been an excellent opening combination.
Yeah, we also saw that partnership of them in the blast against Gloucestershire back in June, 168-run partnership. Well, here we go. Left arm over to start things, and they're up and running, and that'll be 4 off the very first ball. Thatcher just a little bit wayward and just cut nicely by Routledge. And there's a reason she's one of the top run scorers in the competition, because she can start like this.
Yeah, lovely conventional cricket shot from Izzy Routledge, who tends to be, of the two, Trussler's more of a basher. Trussler has got more of a power game. Routledge tends to play more conventional shots, the more the technician of the two.
Yeah, and that's a better line this time from Emma Thatcher, the 26-year-old, signed over from Derbyshire this year. So from blue to the green and red of the Foxes. And also, I don't know how it's taken me the entire season to clock that the front of their shirts actually does look like a fox.
Nice bit of work from the
In my head, it was just geometrics. This time, a little too far down the leg side and wide signalled. I don't want to alarm anyone, but either the window is a little bit dirty or
it's raining again, yeah. Oh no, my colleagues say from the back of the box.
I'm just going to pretend it's not happening. That's what I usually do with my problems. And 5 on the board. We have to bowl this one again. And this one just squirted away backward of square. That'd be 1 more to the total. Routledge moving on to 5.
Worth saying as well that we lose, for every 15 minutes we'd be off, we lose 4 overs. Oof. So were we to go off now, the built-in delay time has effectively gone, and we are just losing overs out of the game. So it makes what's happening here for potential DLS if we go off again really important. These next 15 minutes of cricket could decide the game.
Again, just straying down that leg side. It's another wide, so another 1 to the total, and also means you've got to bowl that one again. So it's only actually been 3 legitimate deliveries so far, 7 already on the board.
Yeah, this is uncharacteristic from Thatcher. She's normally so reliable. Economy rate of 5.3 in this competition this season.
That's much better. Has a waft at this one. Just beating that edge. And it is getting slightly heavier, this rain. It's still sort of bright overhead.
I think it's fair to say that they wouldn't have started in this. It's one of those types.
You wouldn't come on in it, but once you go off, you can't come back on. Thatcher in again. This time again, straying down that leg side. She's just lost her radar, hasn't she? Whether the ball's a little bit damp, or whether it's just a few nerves in a semi-final.
Well, we haven't got DLS on that scoreboard, but we'll try and keep you updated, because this could effectively almost become a 5 over run chase.
quite timed with the drive, but good running, scampering through for one. These two have batted together a lot. They know each other really well, so it's usually good communication between this batting pair.
Yeah, they actually batted together right throughout the winter. So Middlesex were doing a lot of training of batters in pairs, and they had these two together because they knew that was going to be a likely opening combination.
Final legitimate delivery of this over. And just finds that outside edge. That's going to be a bonus boundary for Routledge off the final ball. In the end, quite an expensive over. 13 runs coming from it. So 1 over gone in this chase. Middlesex 13 for none.
Well, that's the perfect start in the rain. Facing one of the most economical bowlers in the entire competition. And helped by a bit of luck from that final delivery. Taken over 13, so Middlesex will be chuffed. This could be one of those kind of strange ones where you can understand what the umpires are thinking. They're just trying to keep the players out there. We will see what we get. Finty Trust are facing up. 212 runs in the comp at an average of 30, strike rate of 110, and only Francesca Sweet has hit more sixes, so she can be really destructive at the top of the order.
She taps her bat now as Phillips comes steaming in. Nicely weighted, and it's well stopped as well. A sliding stop to keep it to just one, because it looked like she just managed to thread it through that gap. Again, another one auditioning for the Lionesses' goalkeeping position. Or slide tackle, perhaps.
Well, haven't had Millie Bright at this Euros. You always need defensive reinforcements.
Flighted delivery, this one, just dipping at the last moment, and she's Harbour Bridge that one. That's going to go for 4. Yeah, straight under the armpits.
Yeah, Leicestershire haven't got this right. It's really tough bowling with a wet ball, but it is ultimately a low full toss. And the batter of Truster's capability and Routledge's capability, neither of them are going to miss out on a ball like that.
That's better, but it's pulled away, and it's going to be back-to-back boundaries, turning into a very expensive first few overs. Already 9 from this one, and just 3 deliveries gone.
She's someone that's got a potent in-swinger, Ellie Phillips. I know she's perceived as a bowler with a high ceiling, but she can sometimes, which is the nature of a bowler like that, not always find the control she'd like, and unfortunately it looks like one of those overs so far. Tough conditions here for Leicestershire. Rain is just eased off a touch, but it's still there.
She's played that so late. It's not going to race to the boundary. Just not quite got enough on it. Good running again.
I must say, I am curious about... You're chasing wickets. You've got a new ball, albeit it's a wet new ball, and you've got no one behind square on the offside in either over. And as the other interesting thing with that is that it's a big scoring area for Routledge as an individual batter on top of that. Again, the field still hasn't really changed. Point has gone to backward point.
Yeah, well wide this time, well left. Just leaking runs here. Leicestershire.
And it's uncharacteristic because Phillips and Thatcher both throughout this competition have been excellent. They've been as good as any seamers right across the circuit, particularly with that new ball.
As the rain comes down, 2 to come in this over. Has a feel for this one and almost barbecues herself with her bat.
Well, I think she might be a touch frustrated there, Routledge, because she knows the gap was there. Had she got anything on it, she's getting at least 2.
Just a slight lack of foot movement away as well. 12 from the over already. 25 already on the board. We're not even at the end of the second over yet. We thought that Leicestershire had a pretty good start, but this is putting it to shame. Again, just that a little bit fuller, a little extra flight, and one more to the total. So it brings the second over to a close. Routledge will retain strike. She moves on to 20. 2 overs gone. Middlesex 26 for none. That target 108.
Yeah, both those opening overs have gone for 13. It really does set the platform very nicely. Regardless of rain, regardless of equations, the DLS, it should be said at this stage, is 14. So they've already built up a big lead on that. And if you're in the Middlesex dugout here, more than anything, you just want 3 more overs to be bowled at this point.
Exactly. Because then we definitely have a game.
Well, it's going to be a bowling change. No surprise, Laura Crofts. Now, normally the keeper would pretty much always stand up for Crofts, but at the moment Watson is standing back. She's one of Leicestershire's more experienced players, was part of the Diamonds in the KSL era. Has done 18 years at Warwickshire and a couple of years at Northampton. Has played on this ground before for the Steelbacks. But the keeper's standing back. It's a bit of medium-paced dolly mixture is what you'll get here from Crofts, with normally right on the button.
A little bit of width there. Doesn't quite manage to time it, Routledge, but she'll come through for one. They're very quick between the wickets, these two.
Well, she'd have got the wide, but I think having started so fast, that adrenaline kicking up, she saw a ball like that and thought, I'm going to hit that to the point boundary. And you can understand why.
Yeah, that's much better delivery. Just that slightly back of a length this time. And I can't believe that's missed the edge, actually.
Yeah, that's much better from Crofts. It's a bit of a local game for her. Started out at Braunston Paddocks in Northamptonshire.
Just lets this one go through.
Yeah, Trussler deciding to have a look at one. And why not with the scoreboard as it is?
Yeah, just trying to drag things back here now, Crofts. Build up the dots, build up a little bit of pressure, especially after you get off to such a flying start and then you're dragged back. You then have to build up again. That's when you can get frustrated as a batter. Shuffles down the pitch this time, dispatched. Not a chance of a fielder chasing that one. 4 more to the total, and Finty Trussler joins the boundary hitting party.
Well, that's the kind of shot I meant when I talked about the power that Trussler has. The way she can bludgeon things in the power play when she gets it right. Almost looks a bit baseball in the way the bat comes through. The intent to charge, the intent to give Crofts a different problem. Rain is continuing to come down at a more than steady rate. You can understand why the umpires are keeping them out there. Middlesex already 13 ahead on DLS.
This time, wisely sends Routledge back. And it was a good response from Crofts with the ball, just fuller and straighter again this time.
Coming down again for another little chat. This is something Routledge and Trussler like to do at least once, if not twice in and over. Just come down, punch gloves, exchange a bit of information about what things are doing.
Gives it the big heave-ho. Not a chance of either mid-on or mid-off getting anywhere near it. And it's the second boundary of the over. And what was a pretty tidy over to start with then goes for 9. So at the end of 3, Middlesex absolutely flying up the top, 35 for none.
Well, it's a captain's nightmare for Rebecca Brooker. 3 different bowlers have bowled in the first 3 overs and no one's really given her a sense of control. 13, 13 and 9 so far. Those two are sitting very comfortably. I actually had a chat with both of them a few days ago in the build-up to this one. They were talking about the fact that some days they just sense that one of them might be on a little more than the other. There's no real set roles. While Trussler might tend to be a player that scores more of her runs in boundaries, it sort of depends on the day. Today it was Routledge who got the fast start.
So another change in bowler. It is proving difficult. So Holly Whitfield this time, the 19-year-old. Tall pacer, and that is beautifully driven through the covers. It might just beat the fielder. Yes, it will. Heads out towards the dugouts and gets all the appreciation and round of applause from the Middlesex dugout as it rolls just towards them.
Yeah, it just teased the fielder, Brooker, because of that slow outfield. Without the amount of rain that we've had both pre and during this game, wouldn't have been in question that it was going. Just over pitch from Whitfield, and that's one of Routledge's favourite shots, that cover drive.
Much better. Beats the bat, legitimately beating the bat.
Yeah, beautifully bowled by Whitfield. That's the kind of deliveries that have made her such a star of this Blast campaign. Took 2 for 14 off her 4 overs against Derbyshire last weekend to help seal a semi-final spot. She had a winter in New Zealand as well.
There is a fielder down there at deep third, so they'll cut that off. It would be just one more to the total, but already on to 40 now, Middlesex, inside 4 overs. Absolute flying start from this power partnership.
Yeah, best for Whitfield this season of 4 for 13 against Northampton here in round 3 of the County Cup. And at this point, they kind of need someone to do something like that here, Leicestershire. They need someone to go on a bit of a run, take some wickets, change the dynamic.
There's a fielder out there. She slides past it. 4 more to the total. Second boundary of the over already. 44 now. They race on to Middlesex.
Well, they're going at 2 a ball with that boundary. It was Routledge who started fast, but Truster's more than in her groove. Crunch.
Hell of a start this from Middlesex in the chase. The rain's slowing up now. That's well bowled. Just dug out and still be 1 more to the total. Good running as well.
Well, it's a sign of an opening pair that trust each other. It's a sign of an opening pair in rhythm, and it's a sign of a fielding team on the back foot, a single like that. So this over's gone for 10. There's still 1 ball of it left. Things to put on a huge stand at Radlett against Gloucestershire, where Routledge...
Yeah, just turned away into the onside to close out the over with a dot. So in the end, 10 coming from the over, 4 gone, 45 for none.
Yeah, they're in control here. They really are. It's remarkable how quickly they've seized it. So 1 over left here. Middlesex will be desperate to get this over bowled. They are plus 18 on DLS. Mentioned that stand at Radlett. Routledge batted through the innings for 80 not out. Truster got herself into the nervous 90s, but didn't make it out, and has been getting some gentle ribbing from her teammates ever since. She does have a ton in 50 over cricket this season, though, Finty Truster. She made 137 against the same opponents, Gloucestershire, so I was joking that they're probably a little bit sick of her by now, after 2 knocks like that.
We're going to have another change in bowler. We had a different bowler every over.
We certainly have. April Harathgate, who normally wouldn't tend to bowl a lot in the power play, but the situations demanded it.
It's a good start from the 24-year-old. Niece of former Sri Lankan captain Chamara Kapugadera. So cricket runs in the family. This one just straying down the leg side, and they're going to come through for a bonus single as well.
Worth saying, you would have seen the signal as well from umpire Jarvis at 4.1 overs because of the reduction at the end of the power play. Should be some slight relief to Captain Brooker, who can at least get a few more scouts out.
Yes, right on the money. Beating the outside edge, puts her head in her hands. Doesn't know how that's missed everything. Comes in on that angle. Extra flight, full toss. Dispatched into the onside. Fielder out there. One of those moments you sort of think, as the fielder, can I come in, take the catch, but decides to just wait on the bounce, and wisely so, otherwise it could be a trip to the orthodontist.
Yeah, Scarlett Hughes out there who batted magnificently for a 47 earlier on.
Again, full toss, this time behind square, 4 more to the total, out towards that Middlesex dugout again, and they are racing in this chase. That brings up the 50, 52 for none, inside 5 overs.
Yeah, 52 added off 28 balls. Might not surprise you too much to know that that is the quickest they've got to that milestone in a game this season, and by quite some distance as well.
Two more to come. Uses her feet nicely. And another misfield means that they get a bonus single.
Yeah, tricky conditions out there for fielding as well. Wet outfield, wet ball. The rain has now stopped. Every over in this inning so far has gone for at least 9. This one's gone for 8 with 1 ball left.
Yeah, nicely played all along the carpet. So just 1 more to the total, meaning that Routledge will retain strike for the beginning of the next over. 5 overs gone. Middlesex racing along in this chase. 54 for none. They need another 54 runs to win, so halfway through the chase, haven't lost a wicket, and are only 5 overs into their allocated 14. And the rain seems to, Michael McCann, have blown over.
Yeah, all the forecasts told us there would sort of come a point around pretty much 2 o'clock, and we are at 10 to 2 now where the showers will be gone. So hopefully that means we're set fair for the rest of things.
Yeah, if you check out those wiggly worms, well ahead. It's like one of the wiggly worms ate all the sugar this morning and set off flying and had all the concrete to build your skyscrapers.
A lot of mixed metaphors going on there.
I'm just chucking them all
the
out
worms
there.
Are building. The worms
are building skyscrapers. Well, here comes Sweet now. So another different bowler. This one squirted behind point, and third just comes around to cut it off.
She's been handy with the ball when she has bowled. She's only necessarily sometimes been an occasional bowler, Francesca Sweet. She's gone at 5.7 and over. She's picked up 6 wickets as well.
Another youngster in this side, just 21 years old. And that's really well bowled. Really, really well bowled. You can almost feel with these two batters, they feel like they should be capitalising every ball. It's like they're playing some kind of T10. They feel like they want to send everything. Again, just picks out the fielder.
I like Watson being up to the stumps here. She's a very good keeper in both ways, but she's a real tenacious competitor. She'll be trying to make a little moment of magic happen here.
Yeah, there's a fielder out there in protection, so that'll be 1 more to the total. Tidiest over so far of the innings, just 3 runs from the first 4 deliveries. But these two working really well in that antagonistic partnership. They do so well, sharing it around. It's not one of them doing the heavy lifting, the other one just keeping company. Again, full. Again, really well bowled.
Yeah, I must say, I'm not the only person who's not surprised, who's watched Francesca Sweet bowl multiple times this season and has not left a little surprised she doesn't bowl it even more than she does. She's a genuine all-rounder, there's no doubt about it.
Looks to cut this a little too full. And a really tidy over in the end from Francesca Sweet. Just the 3 runs coming from it. 6 overs gone. Middlesex 57 for 3. Another 51 runs runs needed to win. If I can get my words out.
We knew what you meant.
I just sort of picked them up, spat them out, and hope they'd land in the right order.
They're plus 15 on DLS, which with the rain having stopped and we're pretty confident from forecast to go away, we're hopeful that we're not going to be going back off. It's just a case of that target you can see on your screen, 51 to win off 48 with 10 wickets in hand. So Leicestershire have got to instigate a collapse here, really, at this stage of things.
Yeah, just again, not quite timed, hit into the ground this time. One more to the total. Got pace at one end and spin at the other at the moment.
Now she's got a front of the hand slider, Harafki. That's one to watch out for. Tends to mix mainly between top spinners and leggies.
Full toss. Protection out there. She does well to get round because that was hit hard. And sliding across. There's a mix-up. The ball's gone to the wrong end.
My goodness.
Sometimes it's just your day, and it seems to be that for Middlesex. Gone to the other end. Oh, it looked like it would very much be the first wicket down of the day, of the chase even.
And with the scoreboard as it is, there's no need for this pair to take unnecessary risk.
Full toss, not dispatched. She would have felt her eyes lit up as that came down. Missed out on one here as Finty Trussler.
She's had quite the character arc, Finty Trussler, as a cricketer. It was only 3 years ago that she was a leg spinner for the Southern Vipers. Now she's an opening batter for Middlesex.
Shuffles down the pitch at this one, Routledge. Gets to the pitch of the ball. Again, one more to the total.
The main reason for that character arc? A certain Charlotte Edwards.
Oh, in Charlotte we trust.
You said you've got something where you're batting. Focus on that. After she'd struggled for rhythm with her leg spinners, she found herself often in the twos. That Southern Vipers team, for obvious reasons, quite difficult to get in and stay in.
Full toss, top edge. And put down. Did all the hard work. Got herself there. Got set and just hard hands in the end. Maybe a little bit trickier than I'm perhaps given her credit for. But again, they survive.
Yeah, it's Flora Davies out there. Pretty certain that deep square leg would have been a really good catch. Charging in, but having got there and got two hands to it, she'd be disappointed. They'll be all too aware. They need a moment of magic here, Leicestershire, to change the dynamic.
And the missed stumping as well. Shuffled down the pitch at this one. Fumbled behind the stumps. And, well, quite an eventful over in the end. So 7 gone. Middlesex 64 for none.
Yeah, we've talked about the trusty outside edge. The trusty inside edge coming into play there as well. So Rathgate, to her great credit, doing everything she could to make things happen.
Unsurprisingly, Sweet is going to bowl her second. Went for just 3 from her first over, so trying to build a bit of pressure and accumulate some dot balls because they've got to slow this scoring down. They've got to take some wickets. They've still got plenty of batting. Oh, will we, won't we? To me, to you, Chuckle Brothers coming in there.
Yeah, they're very positive with the running, these two, which on the whole served them very well this season. Having a chuckle about something between balls there, Routledge and Trussler. Both got a big smile on their face, and why not?
The lack of communication, perhaps. Wide signalled. Can still be stumped off a wide, of course, but managed to get the long stride out and stay behind the line. Great bit of work behind the stumps, actually, to get herself across and get in for the stumping.
Well, it's a moment like that that's exactly why I said when Watson came up to the stumps from Sweet the previous over that I really liked it. These are the kind of moments that a dynamic, talented keeper like Ellen Watson can create. And that's what Leicestershire need right now, something out of nothing.
Hit hard. There is a fielder out there at deep mid-wicket, and she fumbles, but it'll be one more to the total. The Glamorgan players just strolling around the outfield, almost taken out Skittles if that had been misfielded and gone past.
Yeah, got to keep your wits about you. That second semi-final was scheduled to start at 2:30, but for obvious reasons, given the delays in the first, will probably start a little later.
Ooh, tries to do something a little bit different here, and it's going to pay off. She's going to pick up 4 more here as Finty Trussler. She moves on to 29. Absolutely racing.
Yes, chasing Francesca Sweet for, well, I don't think it is an official purple cap, but the unofficial purple cap, if you want to call it that. Sweet taking her run tally earlier on with her 38 up to 296. And as I speak, Finty Trussler has 241.
Well bowled. A little bit quicker this time from Sweet.
It's amazing to think as well, Finty Trussler, when she had left the Vipers and was sort of working out her cricketing identity, was seriously considering giving up the game. And it was those words of Charlotte Edwards I mentioned, that you've got something with your batting, that kept her going.
Somehow that's gone through everything. Legs, it looked like it almost went through the middle of the stumps. And, well, didn't quite get down to that one. So 4 more to the total. Thatcher just a little lazy in the fielding, perhaps.
Has managed to escape through, and it feels like this is falling away from Leicestershire very quickly. In the way that games can from a position like this, and it's been uncharacteristic. They've generally been it's been their bowling and fielding that's been probably the biggest parts of their game that have got them here to finals day.
Goes aerial this time. Fielder in the game. Puts it down as well, and to rub salt in the wounds, and not just the fine salt, the crunchy salt in the wounds, it goes for a boundary.
Yeah, well, I just mentioned that it hasn't been Leicestershire's day in the field, and as if to prove the point, Trussler gets a life, not her first. It's 78 without loss after 18. They are absolutely flying there, Middlesex.
After 8.
After 8, beg your pardon. 14, of which that's the last 4.
And it is brightening up out there. Almost needs sunglasses.
Yeah, definitely starting to turn into a bit more cricket weather.
Well, it depends what country you're from. Cricket
Well,
weather. This is about as good as it gets normally.
Yeah, exactly. It'll do. It's not raining.
So 30 now needed from 6 overs. Routledge 34 from 25. Trussler at the other end 33 from 23. And this one just turned away.
Yeah, Lucy Weston on. He's only bowled 10 overs in the Blast this season, but that did include an epic spell against Worcestershire when a couple of seamers were out injured. She took 4 for 20.
Sort of those middle-paced dibbly-dobblies, isn't it? That actually can be very difficult to play.
Yeah. Just turning to her in the hope of something. You sense it is more hope now than expectation for Leicestershire.
It's definitely a song, Our Hope and Expectations. I feel like it's Muse or someone? I don't know. No one needs me to sing it. I could. But as we say, we would probably lose listeners. Waits on this one, tries to cut it, and just beating that edge.
Yeah, I'm sure that this opening pair will now talk about being the ones to see it through.
Gets to the pitch of the ball. Takes on Thatcher out at long on. So 1 more to the total.
I've had plenty of big partnerships before. We referred to that Gloucestershire one. 167 off 104 that day. Not quite going to do that here, but Century Partnership is there for them if they want it, you sense.
Again, a flighted delivery finds the gap. 4 more to the total. Racing towards that target now, Middlesex. Started in 4th gear, just pushing up into 5th.
Yeah, looking to finish it in a hurry. And this pair are both looking so comfortable out there.
Yeah, so 9 overs gone now, 85 for none.
Inside out, that is one of Truster's favourite ways to go. Try and find that gap through extra. Threaded through. This pair, I bet they both won't be able to wait for the final as well. No better feeling on a finals day than scoring runs in game 1 and having the opportunity as a batter to roll straight into game 2. Laura Crofts, the experienced campaigner, is back with a change of ends.
Okay, I really struggle to not say Lara Croft.
Right.
Every time. I'm bringing some kind of Tomb Raider references.
I'm sure she's heard it all before.
She must have done.
Well, she's going to need some kind of Lara Croft level skills here to pull this back. 23 to win off 5. 10 wickets in hand.
23 or 5 overs, that is.
Yes.
Pierces the gap here. It's probably not going to get to the boundary. Really good chase. They come back for a couple. There's confusion in the middle. Again, the ball's at the wrong end.
Oh.
And there could be overthrows here. It's not going to go to the boundary, but there's no fielders anywhere near that. They're going to come back again for another.
This is the 4th.
So they have now actually run 4. And I'm tired just watching.
It's extraordinary. And it's a bit of a mess from a Leicestershire point of view.
And even there, as the keeper rolls the ball back to the bowler, there's no one watching.
Well, had Watson hit, I think would have been out. Routledge and Truster are able to have a giggle about it now because it's ended well. Actually, our scoreboard reckons they ran 5. They might well have run 5. It was carnage. Yeah, it seems they did run 5.
Oh, an all round 5.
Rather you than me.
Should we all have a sit down?
Yep, definitely was 5. Scoreboard confirms.
There we go again. That is glorious. 4 more to the total. Out towards that scoreboard. It's just lodged itself under there. And they're absolutely flying towards the final on Middlesex.
Yeah, they can reach out and touch it now. It's all ending in a hurry. And you have to feel for Leicestershire, who haven't shown their best today in the field and with the ball.
You sort of wonder at this point, actually, is it going to be 50 for one of these openers, and who's going to get there first? The win seems almost inevitable. It's not over till it's over. This one squirts away. 1 more to the total. Definitely not where she was intending to hit it. $13 now needed of 27. I think you'd just be frustrated if you get out now and not there at the end to see it home. Has a feel for this one.
It's been a lovely knock from both these two, Routledge and Truster, and you'd imagine that would be the messaging. Walk off with your red inker having won the game.
Full toss driven up to that wide long on and hit so well that there'll actually only be 1.
Yeah, it should be said as well. Great credit to Leicestershire for an excellent blast campaign. Fought their way hard to scrap and get through as runners-up of the North Group. But it's ending fast here.
Again, backward of square. 4 more to the total. And the deficit now moves into single figures for Middlesex. They're almost home and dry and into that final.
Yeah, we're into a matter of when they go through rather than if. with the scoreboard as it is, and it's because of those two in your shot. There's a nice little handshake to celebrate that century partnership. Not by any means for the first time this season between the pair. You've, on the whole, bar a couple of mishaps, run very well between the wickets and have dominated this Leicestershire bowling attack.
Yeah, so 10 overs gone now, 100 up, so going exactly 10 and over, and they need just 8 runs to win from 24. Weston to bowl her second, went for just 6. A loopy delivery this time, nicely played off the feet by Routledge. So it brings Trussler back on strike. Oh no, they'll come through for a second. Beg your pardon. So she moves on to 44. If she can hit this one for 6, she brings up a 50. Just plays it nicely off the back foot. So it does bring Trussler back on strike. She's on 46. And it's now 5 needed to win and get themselves into the final. Remember, coming up after this, we have semi-final number 2. Yorkshire unbeaten in the Blast so far this season, taking on Glamorgan. 5 to win. Trussler on 46. Shuffles down the pitch, driven straight back up past the bowler. Fielder comes round and will cut it off, so it will be just 2. Trussler moves on to 48. 3 needed to win. And she's eyeing up that half century as well.
Yeah, we'll bring you toss news from that second semi-final as soon as we have it as well.
Through the gap, 4 off the final ball needed, and it will be 50 for Finty Trussler. It is Middlesex into the final. They have done it with absolute domination in this chase. Barely put a foot wrong. Finty Trussler holds her bat up to the dugout. They have seen their side into the final, and they will have a chance at trying to take glory in the first ever League 2 Vitality Blast finals.
Yeah, a completely dominant display from Trussler and Routledge, whose opening partnership has been a fulcrum of this Middlesex campaign, both in the T20 and also in the 50-over format often as well. And they did it with a minimum of fuss, a couple of drop catches and a couple of lives from possible run-outs. But they were quick to benefit from Leicestershire not quite being at their best. So their journey ends here, and it is Middlesex who deservedly charge into the final.
Very much charged. Charged, cantered, galloped, all of the above. Didn't even lose a wicket. Saskia Hawley there at the front, the captain. She was ready to come out when needed, pads on, but could just sit back and relax. And now they can just think about the final. They can sit down, get a cup of tea, watch the next semi-final and think, right, we're taking on whoever wins this one later on this evening, and we could have a chance at some glory.
Yeah, and a lot of hard work for Middlesex coming to pay as well. Speaking to a few players, we're talking about the clarity and purpose that Mark Broom's given them as head coach. It's coming in at the start of the season, working also with a full-time analyst, full-time S&C, full-time physio, and consultants like Mark Stoneman and Ajmal Sazad have come in to help the batters and the bowlers respectively. So this is also a lot of work through the winter that has come to pay at the biggest of stages. Well, almost the biggest of stages, because they're into the final at 6:45, and I've got 4.5 hours before then to rest up. I know there's a widespread consensus you'd rather play second because of not having that long wait, but at the very least they do go into having to wait around a while, feeling full of beans and full of confidence.
And also full of lunch, and you don't have to wait. You've got some time for it to go down again later. So Leicestershire Foxes, they managed 140 from their 7 overs. Obviously we then had the rain, so it was all changed up, and 108 was made that target from 14, and they chased it down easy as you like. 2 red inkers there for the openers for Middlesex. Lots of different bowlers used. 7 bowlers used by Leicestershire. and it proved expensive in the end. No one going at less than 6.5s. So it is Middlesex women who they won it by 10 wickets. A dominant performance, a dominant display, especially with the bat during this chase. They win by 10 wickets on the Duckworth-Lewis method.
Yeah, we can have a look back at the highlights of that semi-final. Middlesex winners by 10 wickets with 22 balls to spare.